All right, guys, welcome back to the Sour Season Podcast, episode 2, Behind the Scenes. Today, I'm joined by a couple special guests, Matt and Julia. Say hi, guys.
Yo.
Hello.
Awesome. So they're going to join me today, and we're going to have conversations just about life, music, and all that kind of stuff. So I hope you enjoyed today's podcast, and stay tuned for some awesome things. All right, hit the intro music.
She don't really want it. Tell you that I'm on it. Friends don't really wanna see me so caught up. Got their own problems, they just don't flaunt it. Yeah.
So we are back, and Matt, when was like the first time that we like ever met?
The first time we met, I think it was 2016, and you were performing a show at Harvest Church for the youth group. You were a thuggin' unicorn back then, and it was popping, I remember, and I had my buddy with me, and he walked up to you after the show and just wanted to collab and stuff. But the first time we actually hung out, this is probably a couple years later, really. You started leading the group over there with the young men, the young adults, and I don't know, from there, it's kind of history, off and on, and then really became friends a couple years ago, I guess.
I just remember like being that youth leader, but I was like only 18. So that was really crazy. I remember like everyone's like an adult, and I'm like sitting there fresh out of homeschool and at the house all the time. That's crazy. We go back that far too. Julia, we go even back like further. Like we've known each other for a long time. 10 years. Yeah. Well, remind me of like when we first met.
I don't even remember when it was. I just remember it was 2019.
2019.
I mean, 2009.
We met each other this year.
We've known each other for 10 years, but we just met each other this year. No, it was 2009. I was just coming. I was fresh to Harvest Church, and I don't even remember. I think we had started becoming friends when like you had this joke going around, like I had just come out of the closet. That kind of joke, and I think that's when we finally became like friends. So
I remember a lot more now. I remember like really like knowing you back when the church used to do this thing like the boot camp, and I remember we would do trust falls, and I think one of the times you had to do a trust fall.
I think I was partnered with you.
Yeah, and I think I almost dropped you.
Pretty sure you did. And then we were blindfolded outside and you kept bumping into me.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That was really funny. I remember that. And then I remember the whole thing of like coming out. It was because I would play.
Wait, when was this?
This is all new. Oh man. Xavier Sorrow exposed. This is really behind the scenes. No, I remember I used to play this joke or talk about this thing with Isaac. So when I first met him, we talked about this on our first podcast of how we met. And it was me seeing him for the first time in a closet. And we both came out the closet together as best friends. We started as strangers, and now our whole relationship changed being in that Sunday service in a closet. But yeah, that's crazy. So thank you guys again for coming and helping out with this podcast. Guys, we just ate pizza, and
Super full.
it was super good and super full. We got this thing called Disney Plus, which is really cool. Definitely been watching a little bit of that, but I stayed up all night watching the Goofy movie, but I knocked out like halfway. Guys, I want to know what is like your guys' favorite like Disney movie, like stuff that you remember that really like had your childhood.
My favorite Disney movie was Cinderella. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, I watched like the Disney Channel, but was Wizards of Waverly Place on Disney Channel?
Yeah.
That one. I watched Hannah Montana. I don't remember what else there was.
I don't really know. I didn't really grow up on the Disney stuff. I mean, I guess I did like the cartoons like Pinocchio and stuff like that. I remember that when I was really little. But I was more into the stuff like Nightmare Before Christmas. And is that Disney? Yeah. So that would be my favorite Disney movie. But yeah, I'm a little bit older than these guys. So the Disney They got me watching Camp Rock right now, and this is the first time ever seeing it. Brand new. Yeah, it's good.
I think I remember like watching like Even Stevens and you never watched that show? Oh, I loved that as a kid. My favorite Disney show had to be Phil of the Future, because it was like this kid who was from the future and he goes to the past, and like their family tries to like make sense of the world in the past, and they try to blend in, but it's not good at all. And the CGI is horrible, but like it was so funny. And I remember I had a crush on like one of the actresses from like that show. And she was like this blonde person. She was a total kid in that show, which made sense as a kid that I liked a kid. But like looking back at it now, I'm like, oh, that was weird. And then I guess like movies, like I just said, I was watching the Goofy movie. Goofy movie is probably one of my favorites. It is like the coolest thing. I just love the Powerline like songs and everything. And then I'm trying to think of what else like really had my attention as a kid. I don't know. I think I was kind of torn because I was also like really into like Nickelodeon. And so watching like all the Nickelodeon shows like SpongeBob and Drake and Josh, and there's just so much more, iCarly. So like all those shows like literally had my childhood from like 5 to like 12. I'm lying. I'll be honest. Probably like 5 to 16. But yeah, I just remember watching all those shows. It's kind of funny just thinking back to like the past and like younger you and like what you were into and like what you're into now. And like we're watching this Camp Rock, and it's like just seeing how cringy things are like now that weren't so cringy when we first watched it. So my question is for you guys. What's something that you would think that like was really cringy about your younger you? Like some things that you did that you're just like, why did you do that? And you kind of just look back and you're like, if you could give yourself advice, you'd be like, don't do that again. You're being stupid.
Sagging my pants. I sag my pants till the day I die. No, it was sagging my pants with the super long tall tees. So it would be like my pants line, my belt would be right at the bottom of my butt cheek.
So your body was like oddly proportioned.
Yeah, it probably looked like I had super short legs and a really long body, really long torso. But yeah, I would probably wear regular clothes that fit me right. I kind of dressed like that until I got my first pair of skinny jeans. And I don't even like skinny jeans now, but yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like my whole childhood was cringy. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I probably would have just told myself to stop chasing after guys, honestly. My boyfriend's sitting right next to me, but like, I was weird. And I feel like I had to be talking to somebody all the time. And so, yeah, like I always had somebody to talk to. And I was just like, I just stop. So yeah, I think that would be my advice to me, is just to stop.
I actually remember that too. I remember you actually having that conversation with me, saying you're like, I have a problem.
Yeah.
I just don't like to be alone. I want to talk to somebody or be around somebody like all the time. Luckily for you, now you have someone who won't ever leave you, and he's just annoying. I guess for me, there was a lot of stuff that I did was cringy. A lot of trends and stuff that I got into. I got into the Thug Unicorn idea with Danny. Danny was, I feel like I'm so pressured into a lot of things by my friends. So whoever I'm hanging around or around the closest to, I act like them a lot.
What was that other trend? You guys started it at camp.
Oh, you're talking about WATC'H, right? The duck lip selfies?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So there was a huge thing, and I mean, it's still pretty big. It's not as big as it used to be, but like girls having duck lip selfies. And so they're pumping their lips up, trying to look cute for a photo on Instagram. And I remember Instagram was only available for people on iPhone at the time. So it was kind of like this exclusive thing, because as kids, we didn't have iPhones. Like I remember I had like a slide phone for the longest time. Girls would post that, and it was just like to get attention and get all the likes. And I remember I was making music, and I was like, Danny, he spent the night at my house, and I was like, bro, what if we made a song that got the attention of everybody? But it was like making fun of girls with duck lip selfies, and we'll just start our own trend, and we'll make a dance and call them ducks. and literally just make a dance about them being weird. But we'll do that and just have our own fashion style that takes off.
What was the fashion style?
We rolled up our pants halfway. So instead of shorts, instead of like pants, it was like jorts. Yeah, it was really bad. And then we had our socks really high up, and we used to wear button up tees like inside, tucked in. And yeah, that was the whole trend. That was really bad. But I don't even think that was the worst part. I think the worst part was the fact that the way I used to talk. So as a kid, like I was super heavily like influenced by hip hop and all that kind of stuff. And I think around the age of 13, 14, 15 is when I started trying to change the way I talk. And if this comes across in a lot of videos that I find on YouTube of like old stuff that I was into.
I've seen those.
They're really bad because I'd be like, yo, dog, what's up? Like, how you doing, man? And it's not how I would talk. It was so improper and so like slang that I knew that it, like, looking back at it, it was bad and it carried across everything. And I look back and I'm like, that's the worst part of yourself, Xavier. I just want to forget everything. But yeah, I guess I would say for me, just like not like talk like that. Just be yourself. I couldn't think of any other questions. So we got the cool idea of using one of our board games that we have at the house to ask better questions that I can't come up with. What is the most dangerous thing? Oh, is that Kim Possible?
No, my keys think they're lost. There you go.
Good. I want to ask a different question. I don't think that one was as good. This one's on the topic of music. What song always makes me sing along?
Oh gosh, I sing along to like everything, even when I don't even know the words. Meanwhile, Back at Mama's by Tim McGraw.
There's just random times where I'm in the car with him. No one else. It's just me. And his mumbling to some song, and it's not even on.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like if you like listen to my playlist, I was just thinking about this in the car the other day. I was listening to my playlist on Spotify, and I can literally sing along to every single song that I have on my playlist on Spotify. I literally know every song on there. I think I just sing along to every song, even if I don't know it. I'll start knowing the chorus and then I'll just sing along to it.
So this question is, what is the most desperate thing I've ever done for cash? Desperate's a funny word. So it's like, I was frantically in need of rent money. So I just sold everything I had on me that I knew was worth money. And so I ended up doing that really quick. But I've also done other things too. So it's like, I've never been into a strip club and stripped for anything or anything like that. But I've definitely like, wow, that sounds like I'm about to say something bad. No, I've definitely just like taken odd jobs just for the sake of having a little bit of money, like extra cash. I don't know. I guess the most desperate is just ask for money. So yeah, I was literally in a situation where, you guys know this, about like 9 months ago, we ended up moving out of the other place and moved here. Well, I didn't have a job anymore, and I was in a situation where I just didn't have any money. Nothing was coming in, and I was struggling so bad. And so I was like, crap, $1,200 is due literally tomorrow. And I was just like, I don't know how I'm going to get it done. Maybe some people will donate if I just ask. And I prayed to God. I was like, I need $1,200 like ASAP. Like, if you can help me out with that, I know you will. Like, I believe in you, God. I'll go to church every Sunday. I started repenting of my sins, and I was just like, I was desperate. And I just remember that moment. Literally, I went to sleep. I was so worried. But I went to sleep, and then I woke up and I had like $1,500 in my account. Took care of the bills for moving and paying the last of the rent for that place. And it was just like, oh my gosh, like that's crazy. So I've never asked for money like, hey, I need money out to the public ever like that. And so that was the first time I've ever done that. And it's like, it's stuff that you almost don't want to do because it's like a pride thing. But yeah, God came through in a huge way, and I'm just like, that's crazy.
I don't know. This wasn't me, but when I first moved out here, I was in like my early 20s. I knew this kid. It was a little kid, probably 12 or 13 years old at the time. And he had like that Justin Bieber haircut when he had it swooped to the side. But all the little girls at school loved his hair. And so he would cut pieces off of it and bag it up, and he would sell it to them for like $1 a pop. Just like hustle all the little girls at school for little baggies of his hair.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't know. I guess that's not really desperate. He's playing the game, I guess. I don't know. But I remember when I was in Texas, I lived in Texas for 2 years, and I was doing a ministry and discipleship program. And first year we couldn't have a job. I went back my second year and I got a job maybe a month in. And my first paycheck was like $40. And this isn't really something I did. I was desperate for cash. But I remember sitting in church, and we're just learning about tithing. And I felt like God had impressed on my heart to tithe $27. And I was sitting there. And I was crying, like tears streaming down my face. I was like, "What? That's more than half my check, God! Like $27."
I was never desperate for money. Believe it or not, my dad always tried to like pay for everything for me. Yeah. I've always kind of had money provided for me, as bad as that sounds. But I mean, yeah, I think I just asked for it, and normally I get it. As weird as that sounds. I've never done anything like desperate or weird for money. I mean, working's weird.
Even going further into that is just like, it is a weird thing what I do. Like technically just, I don't work right now. I don't have like a 9-to-5 job, but if I need money, I work. So I do graphics for people, do videos for people, and I'm behind on a couple of things. So if anyone hears this and I haven't finished a project, don't be mad at me. I'm recording a podcast. So go suck a toe. Don't do that. That'd be really gross.
How about what first world problem do I struggle with?
When I have clothes in my closet, but I don't know what to wear. It's a first world problem that I have. Like I have clothes, but I don't have outfits. Yeah. You know, you get me? Xavier, you're into fashion. You understand?
My problem is I wear the same stuff all the time. And
That's
I have
true.
a whole closet of things.
Yeah. Like I'll try and get Matt to wear something, or like try and get him to match me when we go out to places, and he's like, well, why do I have to match you? I'm like, because that's what couples do.
Oh my gosh.
You're not wearing black.
That's my problem. Like I'll literally like I'll have like a bunch of clothes to wear, but I won't have anything. Only because I'll only wear like the same black shirt that I really like, or the same like hat, or just the same like pants all the time. Like I think I've wore these pants probably 2 times this week. And I just, when I like something, I like it. And then every once in a while, I'll find something that's like there, that's like really good, that I'm just like, oh, I forgot I even had this. And I start wearing it. And I wear the crap out of that for months.
I think mine would be trying to figure out what music I want to listen to on my cell phone.
Yeah.
I'll sit there for 20 minutes in the morning before I go to work trying to figure out what I want to listen to, just scrolling through.
I've been doing music for the longest time. And there's so many times in between where I've taken a break and moved on and kind of just done some other stuff. And I feel like this is the first time in my life where I've literally done music like nonstop. And it's been the main drive of what I do. Because I've done music for like all throughout my high school years and even like 8th grade years and stuff like that. And I used to sing at home or at church every once in a while when I was a kid. So like, this is like the first time I think like, I want to say late 2017 is right around the time where I started working on the first album, Coasting. And ever since then, I don't feel like I've ever stopped. Like I've taken breaks here and there and, you know, not focused so much on music, but like for me, that's been my main thing. And it's such a weird concept of just doing music, like changing from a hobby and slowly going into, okay, this could be like some job or a career or path or something like that. Living at the Laurelwood house with Isaac and Dana and Austin. And I would have my own studio room, which was originally an office, and that just slowly turned into my studio. And so I would seclude myself in there and just start working on music. And honestly, I look back at some of the sessions, I'm like, I wasn't even that good. Like, it's bad. like all the ideas that I was like putting on my phone. I was like, this sucks. I saw a video yesterday of me singing, and it's just like, I was like, what am I doing? Like, it was really bad. And I'm like, how did I ever think I could get to this point at that moment? And I was just like, I was surprised at just how much optimism I had and like believing in myself enough to actually get stuff started. And so I remember like showing you the first demo in like the winter of 2017. And it was, I forgot the name of the song. Your love is my high when my faith is low. Dun, 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 like an antidote. Echo. Yeah, that's the song. That was the first one that I remember showing you guys. And we were in a drive-through of all places. And then I think the next one I showed you was Time Machine. I didn't even finish Thank God until like March of 2018. Yeah. Or not March, January. Yeah, it was like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't start working on that and finishing it till I had Linga on the project. So yeah, I just remember just like showing you those couple of demos, and they both turned out way different than what I originally showed you. But I mean, it's just crazy to see like that's kind of what I started with, like Time Machine. I showed you guys. I showed you guys Echo. But yeah, I showed you a couple of those songs, and I think it was Same Waves was the last one that I showed you. I was just like, I'm excited. I'm gonna do music again. I saw a video of some guy uploading to Spotify, and I was like, I know exactly what I'm gonna do now. At the time, I only had like 20 people who actually listened to my music, and it was just like 11K now. Yeah. It's insane. It's definitely been crazy after, almost 2 years of doing music. We're like going through Spotify right now, and these are all like the songs that I've been making. But I wanted to know, what was kind of one of those songs that like hit you that was like, oh wow, he's actually doing music? Or it was just something that you liked specifically from like stuff that I've released?
I don't know if you really like consider this a full song, but it was 83 North. I just felt like for that song, you were kind of in your element at that time. Your music's changed a lot, and it's gotten a lot better. But I just loved it. It's something you could fall into, that song, the beat, and just kind of, I kind of listened to it on repeat. I listened to it a lot, actually. I was probably, half the listens on that song alone. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah.
I think the whole album was my favorite, just because like I've known you before you even started, like, doing music or gotten really big into music. So I think to like watch you and like watch all the songs that you've put out and like see you go through your music journey, like I feel like this album was like, I was so proud of you, and just like all the songs on there is so you, because you explain your story on there, and it's really cool. So I think my favorite song would have to be Echo, or the one that you wrote for your dad. Oh, yeah. I think that one's my favorite.
Yeah, no, I definitely remember that writing process was so difficult, but so easy. It was a weird thing to explain, because it's like, I felt really selfish in the fact that I couldn't, at that time when my dad had passed away, I was like, I remember feeling so selfish because I was like, can't really do much. Like, I feel like I'm stunted. I had the whole project being ready to roll out that month, and I was going to do everything for it. I was going to put it up on iTunes and everything. But everything like kind of collapsed on me in a weird way. Most does usually do, but it's like, it was one of those things that hit me so hard. And I was just like, well, do I finish this project? Do I like continue with it, or do I just wait a couple months? Like, what's the right thing to do? And I don't know what to do, because this is such a weird thing. Like, I was so motivated I spent the last 12 months working up to this release to actually make something happen. And then all of a sudden, like, this happens in my life and I don't know what to do. And the project had about like 12 songs on there. So when I had finished those 12 songs, I was just like, this is it. This is what I'm going to put out. And then I think about 2 weeks after his funeral, which is kind of when we had like the memorial and stuff like that, I remember going to watch the Incredibles movie with you guys. It was probably the best thing ever, because it's just such a weird thing to go to a movie after a memorial service. But it was like, it started off really sad, but by the time that people were there, I just felt so happy and surrounded. I felt good. And then when we went to go see the movie, I teared up a little bit, like a lot of it. because I was like, man, my dad's the superhero. And I was like crying and I'm like, this is crazy. I can't believe that all these people are here to support my dad. And it just made me feel really like, I guess, confident in what he taught me. I'm not going to question if I should do this or not, or if this is right. I'm just going to do it because I know that my dad deserves the best. And I finished the project and there was like, there's 18 songs on this. So I finished a bunch because like I was still working at the church. So I was working there full time and then just knocking out, music all the time, and finished it within literally that month. And that whole project came out and it was definitely different than what I originally intended, but I feel like I'm better off for it. We went to Universal and celebrated, and we shot a couple of videos out there, and it was so much fun. That reminds me, like, crazy stuff that we've been able to do.
Yeah.
And that involves music. Matt was just at the last show, the last big show. I've had a couple shows since, but the last big show was it was like 600 kids.
Yeah, that was a lot of kids there. That was cool.
Yeah, so that was really fun. But we also had another huge show at the beginning of the year where it was so much fun. And literally I got flown out to go to San Jose and do a show for like 500 kids. Then I was kind of like, hey guys, do you want to come up and just let's do something fun and we'll just hang out? And we kind of turned it into this big weekend that just made it feel really fun. So I'm curious to see what you guys think about like that whole situation, the whole San Jose trip.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was just a lot of fun. I'm just driving out there. The road trip itself was amazing, and then getting out there and meeting the people at the church. They let us come in for free, and I did some recording and not recording, some filming for Xavier and Linga, and it was just the energy inside that room with the kids and all the leadership. Man, it was crazy. It was just crazy to see. I hadn't seen a youth group that on fire in a long time, and and they were into it. The whole show was awesome, and then afterward, we spent the weekend there and went up to San Francisco for a day and over to, what was it, Santa Ana? No, not Santa Ana. That's what's that other one over there? The other San something beach. Santa Cruz. Yeah. To Santa Cruz. And what's interesting is my sister met us out there, and I hadn't seen my sister in close to a decade, almost 10 years. And so it was kind of like a little family reunion, and I had her, my family, I had you guys, my family. And it was just it was an awesome trip. It was a beautiful place. Amazing people. It was a blessing. Yeah.
We got to stay in that haunted hotel. Too.
Yeah. The haunted hotel.
Did you tell Julia about this?
I don't think. Did I tell you about that? You remember Kyle, the tall Kyle from the church? He was one of the leadership guys. He met us at the hotel when we were checking in.
Hotel?
Yeah. So when we were taking our stuff up to the rooms, you guys had walked ahead of me, and Linga was up ahead as well. And I was walking up, and I thought Kyle was right behind me. I could see somebody out of my peripheral. It was like a taller dude. And I was like, it was Kyle. And we got up to the room, and I turned around to say something to him, and he was just gone, vanished. I was like, what the heck? And I didn't know the history of this place. I don't think it's really haunted. At least they didn't say so, but it was just the weirdest thing because he was right next to me. It was like that thing where you could feel somebody right next to you, and I could see him out the corner of my eye, and then it was just a trip. That was weird.
It was just so surreal, like just being in a different place that we haven't gone before. Like normally we go to San Diego or we'll go to LA, but like being up in San Jose and San Francisco and seeing like the Golden Gate Bridge and stuff like that, it was just like such a surreal moment. And like, I don't know. And I've never been to like one of your like bigger shows. So to see you and Linga, like you get invited to this church and stuff, it was really cool to see. But yeah, I don't know. I think the Golden Gate Bridge was like my favorite part, was just seeing it like in real life. Because normally you just see it in movies and TV shows. And it's just like to see it in real life with your own eyes. It's just like,
it's like better than a movie.
Wow. It's crazy. You said Santa Ana and I thought of that TikTok. Do you know which one I'm talking about? The Santa Ana. There's a TikTok, and I gotta find.
Yeah, I remember that being so much fun. Like seeing things that we've never seen before. Like that was really cool. And just like I remember even we were passing on the way back Santa Clarita. And that place was like beautiful. There was so many houses. It was like, but it was all spread out and there was so much greenery. Even passing the farms and stuff on the way back. Dude, it was like, it was such a long road trip, but it was so cool. Like just seeing everything, how open it was. And like, that's the part of California that you don't see. I want to go there again. It was so much fun. It's kind of cool just like where music has taken me over the years, but like not just me, like you guys too. Like you guys get to tag along for the rides and stuff like that. And a lot of the journey behind it. So I think it's really cool. And I'm really thankful for you guys, like even supporting me in that way too, just being along and really letting me not be alone. Because it's kind of weird to embrace new things by yourself. And so I feel like with you guys, I'm just like, I'm at home already. So, because I don't know, I just hate doing things alone. So like going to the movies, like I'll go to the movies every once in a while by myself. I get bored. And I'm just like, why am I here? Like I went to go see Gemini Man alone. That was the worst. I was like, I'd probably enjoy this movie if like Matt and Julie were here. I remember I was getting bored and I actually ended up texting Jessica and I was like just sending like random emojis of like the little GIFs and stuff like that. And I was just like, I'm so bored and there's nothing to do. And I ended up just being on my phone the entire time. And then I left halfway through. So, but yeah, like doing stuff with you guys is really cool. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to play you the song Anime Eyes. So I pretty much got about the official like build of the song. So it's pretty much done. I'm going to upload it tonight after I get the okay for the master. But I'm going to show you guys and see what you guys think. I showed you guys Anime Eyes, the artwork, and the song featuring Zay Hill and Shy Zion. So the way the song came about is I had the song and I was like, yo, it would be cool to get a couple of features on here. So I hit up my bro who's kind of doing really good in the CHH realm. So Christian hip hop, he's doing like ridiculously really good. And he's kind of one of those people that are taking the same approach to music that I'm taking right now, which is like doing stuff every week. This guy has put out like probably 100 songs in the last year or so. And he keeps growing just from doing that. And it's really cool. And he's gotten better over time too. And then the other guy is Shy Zion. He's from Tucson. He has a brother who does music as well, but they're really cool. They're both involved in ministry and church and just super funny people. So I was like, these guys would be perfect for this song. But I'm curious to see what your thoughts are on like, you know, the artwork and video and song. I mean, you were definitely a part of a lot of that. So just wanted to get your thoughts and kind of your take on it.
Yeah, I'd heard a little bit of it. I hadn't heard the full verse or the other guys that are featured on, and it's dope. I like the whole thing all together. It's really nice. I think one of the things that you had told me when we started filming the video is that you kind of wanted it to be a little bit silly, like a little goofy. It's funny because the place that we filmed in is this really beautiful field, and it just gave this feeling of like just one of those really intimate love songs almost. Right. I was like, man, I don't know if it's gonna be what he wants it to be, but it came out super dope. He showed me a little bit of it so far. Yeah. Just hearing the whole thing all together, and I'm excited to see what you do with the rest of the video and how that goes, man. I like it a lot. I mean, it has the elements, the silliness in the video a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I definitely wanted to be funny just because like for the fact that I was like, I don't want to take love seriously.
Yeah.
I feel like all my life I've kind of approached love as this thing and like it's always serious and like it's a big topic, and it's like I just realized it's so far from my personality.
Yeah.
That I'm like, if I want to ever like dream about having love or just being hopeful for it, I know that I got to be in the right mindset. And for me, that's just being fun with it. Like, yeah, I know
that's who you are, man.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't want to be like a movie because like those movies are just fake anyway. And like, I just want to have fun and be myself in it because I know that's probably the best version of me. And so that whole video was just like, it's kind of like cool, but at the same time, it's like
it's beautiful.
It's really beautiful, and then just funny.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
No, it is.
I do some
Definitely
things
is.
in that
Yeah.
music video that are kind of like, just like you would see that in a movie. Does she love me? Does she love me not?
Yeah.
And it's just messing around. It was just so much fun.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was such a cool place too.
Yeah.
Beginning in November and a full field full of flowers.
Yeah. Roses too,
Yeah.
for that matter. That's crazy.
I didn't like it. I'm just kidding.
That's exactly what Isaac said. He hated it.
No, I'm just kidding. I love the song. Honestly, I really do. I think
Yeah.
it's one of my favorite songs by you
Woo.
so far. Well, yeah, so far.
Sick.
But no, I really like the artwork too. It's really, really, really good. I don't know how you edit things like that, but they're really good. And being there, like with you filming, it's like, I mean, yeah, it looks like it's kind of like one of those like love kind of music videos, but it still gave that, like, just because of your personality, it still gave that funniness to the video.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun. And the Field of Flowers was really beautiful.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I do really, really like the song.
Yeah, so it was kind of funny just like shooting that in general, just because like we had gotten a full day of shooting prior, and so we were kind of already like pretty tired. Like I know I was tired for sure, just being out in the heat in November of all things. But yeah, I just remember that being so much fun, and just by the time we were there, it was so hot, and I was just like, I'm not even going to try to make this be cool. Like, I'm just going to be myself, see what comes out, because I don't know. I feel like in music videos, I look back and I'm like, that's not me. And
It was just so awkward at the same time because it was like right on the road.
right on the road. Yeah, it wasn't like in this, because in the video, it might make you believe that this place was like somewhere magical and like a little area like out of the town. No, this was like on the side of the road in the desert. There's a train. It was so weird, but it was like such a beautiful location, and it was just so much fun. And then I went back this week to go. If you're hearing the podcast, it was last week, but I went back and we went to go do the photo shoot with the girl that who's in the photo. And so, because I was like, I hate doing stock photos. Stock photos always kind of feel like anyone else could use this or anyone could imagine this. And it just doesn't feel 100% like original. So I was like, I saw this pose that I saw online, which this girl, she has her hand up kind of like that. And I was like, that would be so cool to mimic, except I don't know anybody who looks like that, is just like, I don't know anybody who looks like, you know, they could be like an anime character type person. Jeanette actually hit me up. She said her sister was like into doing photo shoots and stuff like that. And so I talked to her that day. We were trying to set something up for that week, but it never ended up happening. And last minute, Monday opened up and I was like, okay, let's change all plans. Let's do that. And so Monday we ended up going to the Rose Field to shoot the photo shoot. And we had a really fun time doing it. Her mom was there. I got to meet her mom. And I kid you not, though. And she probably got really like offended when I said this. But I was like, her name's Destiny. I was like, Destiny, you look like Scarlett. She's like, Scarlett looks like me. She didn't say that sassy, but it was a really funny thing. I think we were out there for 45 minutes just trying to get the photo that I needed. I ended up editing that for like 6 to 8 hours, trying to get it right. I sent to Selena and I sent to Janae. I'm trying to make this not fully anime, just because I feel like anime would be the easy thing to do. I wanted to have involvement of real life, but at the same time mimic a little bit of anime. I can't talk. I wanted it to mimic a little bit of that, but more so I wanted to mimic Disney. I wanted to feel like that very beautiful like look to it, but still be like pop and like something that just pops out at you. And so I spent like probably like 6 or 7 hours just redoing it and changing pieces here and there. And the last touch was adding the butterflies in the cover art, which making them glow took forever, but it was so much fun. The next episode, we're going to be doing the next song, which is the second music video we shot. So that one's going to be really fun. Yeah, I mean, this is crazy. This is episode 2. And we're pretty much done with this podcast. I mean, I don't have anything else new to say. So if you guys hate my music, just say it now. Okay. We're quitting the podcast, guys. There's no more podcasts after today. That is pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for joining again. That's been Sarah Season Behind the Scenes. Thank you for joining. And this video is sponsored again by 83 North, the company I own that owns me. And I hope you guys enjoy this. Episode 3 will be out next week. And thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.